Hello patrons! Well, where I live in North Florida, it is full-blown spring. We've had 85-degree weather today. The birds are singing, the trees are in bloom, the new leaves are coming out on the trees. It's just a beautiful, soft wind that's blowing, and it's definitely spring. There's pollen everywhere. But it makes me think, you know, Florida is like the harbinger of spring for the rest of you. So at some point, and maybe California, some point you're going to not have snow or cold weather or rain, and it's going to become spring. So what I want you to think about is not the inside of your house, because we never have to spring clean ever again. Isn't that lovely? But I want you to think about the outside of your house. What does it look like when people drive up to your house, when you drive up to your house? Is it ignored? Is it ugly? Do you have any flowers? Is the lawn trimmed? When it's in good, you know, when it's spring, okay? That's what I'm talking about. So I'd like you to think about how to make it look lovelier. Maybe you do have a lovely yard and a lovely entryway, and that's nice. If you do, congratulations, keep up the good work. Maybe you have it hired out, maybe your spouse does it, but maybe it's all up to you. And if it is, then I want you to start spinning a little plan about what you're going to do to make your home look welcoming. Because your poor little house, I know it's an inanimate object, but I like to give it the qualities of a human being. The poor little thing, it's so sad and embarrassed, and it doesn't feel loved because no one takes care of its outside. So think about washing your windows, making them sparkle. Think about trimming the bushes or pulling out those bushes that are so old they're more like miniature trees and they don't look good. Maybe planting some bulbs or planting some flower seeds. Maybe seeding or reseeding your grass. You know, maybe you can't afford to do all this at once, but you could do a little. You can plant a few little flowers by the door. The reason I say this is because I do have a fly baby, Angela, who has done this to her home. She never did anything to it, and she got inspired by being a fly baby. She planted flowers. Her son has his own little garden. They moved the fence back so that the dog isn't in the front yard anymore, and he's not digging holes, because her excuse was the dog will dig holes in the flower bed, so she didn't have anything that looked sweet. Now she has last summer she had sunflowers on the side of her house. She had hollyhocks, beautiful things in her yard. And the dog, she moved the fence her very self. She dug fence hole posts, she dug holes and put posts in and moved the wire fence herself, which is amazing. I would never do that, but she did. So the dog is in the back, or the kind of the backyard now, and she's got the front looking sweet, like the little house has a new dress on. And so I want you to think about it. You might not want to go that far. Maybe you can't physically do that kind of work. Maybe you don't have the funds to do a lot of fancy things, but a pack of zinnia seeds is very inexpensive. Anything to give your house a little life, a little fun, and clean the front porch. You know, that's part of your entryway when we do zone 1. Clean it, make it look nice so that when someone comes up, they can think, look at this sweet little house with zinnias in the front, or whatever plant you decide to put in. But I would love you to do that. It'll make such a difference. I live in a townhome. The yard is taken care of. Not to my liking, but they do it. And I have a planter in the backyard, a big planter, and I love to grow things. So I took some potatoes that had grown, little eyes had started to grow on it, and I let them grow a little longer and put them in the planter. The planter is 10 inches deep and probably 3 feet long and probably a foot wide. And I planted potatoes. We can do that around Valentine's Day here, and they've already broken through. And we have little green plants coming up. So in 3 months, I'm going to have potatoes because I'm a frustrated farmer. And I love growing things. I have other things that are growing in pots back there too, but not too many. I don't want it to look junky, right? Just want it to look nice. And I also want, and I have some rosemary growing. So hopefully you can do something that'll make you enjoy your yard. Now, another thing you might want to consider doing while it is the dormant season for most of you is dividing that yard or that lawn into zones, just like you do in your house, 4 or 5 zones. So you could say, okay, I'm going to do all the flower beds are going to be around the house are a zone. The front yard is a zone. The 2 side yards are a zone. The backyard is a zone. And the garden is a zone. Maybe you have a vegetable garden, or however you want to do it. And then once a week, work in that zone. Or once a day, do 15 minutes in that zone in the spring. And it'll make a lot of difference. You'll be surprised what you can do in 15 minutes. So it's just a thought, just a suggestion, but I really want you to think about your house and its curb appeal, what it looks like. You may never sell your house, and that's not why you want your house to have good curb appeal. You want it to have good curb appeal for you, so that when you pull in the driveway, you go, yes, that's my house. Oh, look at my little house. Oh, look at the trees. Look at the plants. Look at my pretty yard. I love my house. When you invest your time in your home and into your lawn, it makes you feel part of it. I don't know, it makes you feel more committed to it. So please take the time today to plan it out and really put it in a plan for you to do. Maybe it's a family thing. I think that would be fun. But work on the entryway and the front area of your home so that you do have that look when you come home that makes you think, I'm home. That's it for today. I want you to always remember to be beautiful because you are beautiful. Bye.